Ooh, I like that. Ooh, I like that.
Hello, hello. Sometimes I think that 24-second intro is really long, and sometimes I think it's too short. But I think it all depends on how prepared you are for the morning.
Right.
And I'm not entirely sure I'm prepared for this morning. As you can tell, we are 20 minutes late, which shows you our preparedness level, but that's all right. Nobody is waiting with bated breath, except maybe Sophia and Terry, who comment, but I don't think they're yelling at us for being 20 minutes late. How are you two doing this morning?
Doing good.
I'm great. I'm recovering, so I feel fantastic. It's certainly better than being sick. I can say that.
Oh, I get that. I get that. Being sick sucks. Definitely. Brittany, how are you doing this morning?
I am good. I've been gaming all morning, so it's been a good morning.
Like gaming, like playing games?
Yeah, there's
So
a
you get up
phone
early
game.
instead of answering emails and text messages, you game. Is this what I'm
Well,
hearing?
there's a castle battle today, and so I am trying to assist in the
And it
castle
gets your
battle today.
adrenaline going. It gets you ready for the day.
Sure, that's
Yeah.
what it did. It didn't
For
annoy me at all.
Yvette, it distracts her from her day. But we're not getting into that. We all need our distractions. That is true. And since it is only 8:22, I can't give her too much of a hard time.
I started at 6.
Oh, well, then maybe I can give her a hard time. But we won't on this call. How is that? We won't do it on this call. I will just let it go.
In my defense, I was logged in on time.
And yes, I left her sitting in the waiting room for a very long time because I didn't know she was there. So she was on time and I let her in, not on time. However, good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone. And today's topic is a little different, I think. I think it's going to be an interesting conversation on how each of us our perception on this, how we each take it. Because there is a vast difference between coaching somebody and consulting for someone, right? Mm-hmm. And so the topic today is when you go too far, too quickly with a client or an employee, right? What's wrong, Brittany?
Nothing. I didn't know my computer was not on mute, and so we started to play loudly.
Uh-huh. No playing the games on the live.
Hey.
No, our live. I was watching our live.
Okay. So
All
you're
right.
our one watcher right now? That's funny. All right.
Yeah.
So when you go too far, too quickly with a client, we're going to focus on clients. My clients are going to be a little bit differently than the two of yours, but a little different. Mm-hmm. But what is your perception, first of all, or your thought process of going too far, too quickly with a client, like pushing them too quickly? What are your thoughts on that?
I'll go. I know anytime I've ever done it, I've overspoke. I've overtalked them and I made assumptions. And it has always gone poorly. You know, it's not the direction they were going in. I'm pressing too hard to where they feel even more anxious. And I never really get to the bottom of what's going on. It's always just me hearing myself talk, and it's terrible. I never get clear on what the actual root of the cause is or just where the person is. Sometimes you're just not present. You're not there. There's too much going on in your life. And if you overlook that, you just don't get results. You just get someone who's either defensive or absent, and it doesn't work for me at all. I've done it early in my career, and it's been absolutely terrible. I've had to go back, try to find out, and I lose trust that way.
No, I can see that. And Brittany, based on what Yvette just said, do you think that things like that can be solutioned simply, like by asking different questions, or is it truly just more time?
So I really focus on alignment.
Okay.
And a lot of times when a client isn't doing something, it's because they really don't align with what that looks like for them. So when I'm working with my clients and I notice that there's that lag or that drag, we really have the conversation of what is it that is creating you to not want to do this?
Mhm.
So for me, it's really that conversation of, do you actually align with what is happening, what is being told, what you have said that you want to accomplish, right? Because you can set tasks for your clients and your clients can set tasks for themselves. But what ends up happening is across the board, if we are setting those things, but they're not ready, or they think,
Mhm.
so told me I have to do this, I'm going to do it. When they don't align with what that is, then it doesn't get done.
Mhm.
But Sarah, you and I, we always go into those foundations of a business. And if that foundation isn't built, then people are just throwing stuff at the wall like spaghetti and seeing if it sticks. So it comes into, do I align with what this is? But also fundamentally and foundationally, is it really a pillar that my business believes in?
Yeah, and with that, I'm going to tell you a little bit of what happened yesterday after you left a call, Brittany, because in the call, and I'm not going to, there's 3 people in the world who know who I'm talking about right now. So if you are watching, don't tell anybody who I'm talking about, but I'm not going to give the business. But there was a new person on a call and everybody was trying to help her. We're trying to understand what her business is. We really couldn't understand what the business was. And if I give any description, but it doesn't matter. She's like, well, I want to do this and I'm doing this and I want to market to everybody. We're like, you can't market to everybody, right? You got to at least have a niche. Now you can let people buy it all, right? But you can't market to everybody or nobody will know what you're really doing. And so she was kind of understanding it. But then everybody gets off the call and I'm in this room alone with her. And I ask her a few questions. She's like, oh, yeah, I don't really want an online business. I want a brick and mortar. And I'm like, the last 30 minutes of this conversation was not that, right? Like we would have all given such vastly different answers had we known she was saving money to get a brick and mortar. And I'm just like, wow, we didn't ask anything. We listened to her. We asked like, oh, what do you do? But we didn't ask enough questions in those 20 minutes to get to the point of this new person starting a new company. And then she wanted a brick and mortar. And see, Brittany's thinking right now, like, wow, that conversation went bass backwards. Right?
I was thinking that our advice would be don't do it.
Well, it probably would be, right? But the concept was we couldn't even get there because in such a short fashion, and this is where when I started, I was like, is it about questions or is it just about more time? And I think sometimes you can have all the right questions up front, what you think are right. But sometimes it just takes a little bit of time to figure out the right question for that person. Right? I never thought with all this online networking that we have, all 3 of us have done. How many times have you asked somebody, oh, are you looking to start a brick and mortar? Never once has that come out of my mouth. Never, right?
No.
And so it got me thinking. So perspective, thoughts, what are your guys' takes on what I just said?
Oh, for me, it's that first pillar, clarity of identity. Who am I talking to? What do they want? And I don't think sometimes people are very clear and they don't know. And we forget to ask questions as if they don't know. We just kind of assume you're in this room, you should already know. And I know Brittany's really good at pulling apart information and finding, those gems of clarity for people. So
Yeah.
I really think it's our assumptions that someone knows so much and such foundational things. And I definitely forget people come in almost a blank slate sometimes with some lofty idea. And then when they do get in the room and you start asking them questions, they just did not realize how much they haven't thought about it.
Well, right. And Brittany, that's what I want you to talk about a little bit. Yesterday, I think we overwhelmed this new person. We had a lot of big personalities in that call. Do you think that impacts any of these conversations?
So here is
That was a lot of thought. That was a lot of like. It was
I'm on the edge of the
like,
seat.
It was
there
like
is
cartoons. I saw like things coming out of your ears. Go ahead.
there is a point where we have to put on our big girl pants. There's a point
Sure.
where we have to put on our big people pants, right? And there is a point in which we need to understand the foundations of what our business is, as well as what can our business do. When you walk into a room that is built for a foundational conversation, and that is what it says. And
It did. That conversation was, the description was found. We're going to talk about your foundation.
So we are very good at this is the meeting, but we are also very overly whelmed with people who walk in the door and are not understanding because they didn't read it. I've had somebody walk into a network marketing meeting that they didn't read it, and it says on the title, network marketers only. So there's a lot of different things that end up happening, and what it comes down to is what you were talking about. You're either going to get it done or you're not. You're either going to listen and find alignment in what is said, because we don't have to do what people say. But you have to be able to stand your ground and say, okay, I've taken 20 different pieces of notes from 20 different people, and I'm going to piece this together and build what works for me. Unfortunately, on that call yesterday, the conversation was because everybody was going into niche, and they were trying to get her to niche. And every time I came back and I brought the conversation back, I said, you don't have to niche. However, what you need to do is purposely market. If this is what you want to highlight this month, then highlight this month. If this
And to
is
put
what
it
you
into
want to
perspective,
do.
Yvette, at one point in time, she's like, my product can be for babies, old people, or dogs. And again, I'm not going to say what the product is, but like, really?
And that's great. Phenomenal.
Right.
And you market to all those people.
Not at one time.
Not at
And
one
so
time.
one of the people in the group, he was like, hey, if you can just speak to one thing, right? Just speak to one thing, niche to one thing. And she was adamant against that because she wants to sell all the things. That's phenomenal. And then Sarah came back into the conversation and was like, you know, if you niche into one thing, when people find you, they will see the other things. Right. And so now that we're thinking, okay, well, now she wants to be brick and mortar. First of all, this particular type of business will not survive in a brick and mortar. It will, however, survive in multiple brick and mortars. And Terry, to Terry's
like item,
to Terry's defense, she was in the room, and Terry did mention this to her, of collaborating with other people who have boutiques and other things and really working with those people. So when you look at, when you're in a room full of business people who are giving business advice, it's a matter of, okay, this person wants me to niche. This person is explaining to me that I can narrow down what I'm doing and still sell everything. This person's explaining that on this month I can market and focus on this. The biggest thing that I really wanted her to get out of that conversation was that when you're talking to your audience, people will see I sell everything, and they won't be able to create a product in their head. And we do that for coaching. We do that for everything. Oh, I can do all of these things. If I don't have a product, I don't know what to buy.
Right. And in the selling to everybody, I'm going to use Yvette as an example. Her marketing is to women, right? Specific types of women, but we're just going gender for my example here. So it's for women, right? But if somebody came to Yvette and was like, hey, my male executive director needs confidence training, and we're going to pay you $100,000 for 3 months of that. Yvette's like, hey,
Yeah.
I will help anybody today. Right? Like,
Right.
and that's the thing. So people can still find her and somebody can make her a good offer and she may expand what she does, right? But like this person, she can focus on dogs or old people or whatever she wants to focus on. But then if a man or a woman with a baby finds her and says, "Oh, I want one for my life too," that would be great, right? There are ways that you can do that, right? With my stuff, I focus on companies and individuals at companies that need leadership training, right? But if a random stay-at-home mom is like, "Hey, I want to learn how to become a leader in my HOA," I'd be like, "Well, if you want to pay me, like I'll do it." It wouldn't be the person I'm marketing to, though, right? And so, but I want to get back to my original question, though, because you did answer it, Brittany. But do you think that we should market our networking, our courses, our things a little differently so that new people aren't overwhelmed by seasoned people in these phone calls? Or do you think that just throws them into the real business world? Either one of you can answer that. I want both your perspectives.
I think it's clarity, who do you want to talk to? If you're not ready yet, is there a different program for them? Maybe a different option for that particular type. Perhaps it's something they need to fill out. There's something that they need to push them to where you guys are at this point in time. Is it another program? Is it a conversation before, some clarity on, well, who are you and who do you want to be? Because if you want to be this, we have to identify things. We have to narrow things down simply because you can't do it all. This is just a clear business decision. It has nothing to do with who you are, what you want. Sometimes you have to release all of that. I know I did working with you guys. I wanted to do everything. I wanted to help everyone, but it makes no sense. And you just don't have the bandwidth to do it. It's just a clear business decision. And sometimes you have to make it. You have to identify who can hear you and how fast you can get that message out. And I think you guys do a great job in explaining that, but sometimes you have to qualify for certain situations and certain help.
Brittany, what do you think?
No. No.
Just no.
No. So I and Sarah on a weekly basis give minimum 10 hours of our time.
Yes.
They are free meetings. And you get to come as you are, and you get to decide for yourself if you're at the level of business that is where it needs to be, or you get to decide for yourself if you want to actually rise to that level.
Or maybe what happened was okay, and that's just how it works. Sometimes you catch it, sometimes you don't.
Right.
Sure.
So what ends up happening is, one, I've already stated this, people don't read a business. They don't read what the description of the meeting is. They see a keyword like networking. They see a keyword like whatever. Terry says, thankful for the space. We love you, Terry. But people will read the headliner, but they won't read the description. When they're in that room, they get to decide. Is this the room for me? Yesterday, we had another person in that meeting, and they started with, I'm just going to see what this looks like because I don't think this is where I need to be.
Yeah.
Comes
and
back.
then at the end, he was like, "Oh." Yeah,
and give me, I will give him credit because he is definitely outside of what a different business, what typical businesses walk into our room with.
Yeah.
But nobody knows that they're walking into a room with Sarah and I, where we have done the gambit, which is why we're where we're at. And so I was able to speak to him in his language for his business. And
because she had done a similar job in the past.
Yeah. So when you walk into a room, you get to decide the level of person you are. And even if your business isn't at that level yet, you get to decide if you're going there.
Well, and if you're ready to learn or you're not ready to learn, I think those would be, and this is where I think you use the word alignment and Yvette uses the word clarity, and I just are like, get on board. I don't freaking have a word for it, but you guys are way nicer than me. So, but I think it's that concept, like, where are you and where do you want to be? If you know those two things, learning how to do it all is not easy, but it's there, right? Like you can learn how to do all the in-betweens.
And also, here's the thing with that as well is, what are you willing to do? Because some people are willing to be a stay-at-home parent who does stay-at-home parent things and eventually kind of plays a game. And we have a 10-year client that did a lot of being a stay-at-home person as opposed to running their business. It's a choice. You choose where you put your effort. You choose where you put your time. I had a conversation with a client last night at midnight about just walking out the door for 2 hours. Walk out the door for 2 hours, sit at a coffee shop, and dedicate 2 hours of time to your business. And if you can't reach that 2 hours, she's nodding because she knows what I'm talking about. If you don't have work for 2 hours, phenomenal. Read. Don't go back into the house. Don't go back into the chaos. Don't go into the space that doesn't give you time. Your business should be dedicated time as much as your kids, as much as your family, as much as whatever.
Right. And we understand that it's going to be less if you have to, right? Like it's not, nobody is going to be in some weird world that Brittany and I are in where we have fun. I have more fun with my business than I feel like the average person should. But a lot of people, but it's that take 2 hours, even if it's every other day, right? Monday, Wednesday, Friday, you take dedicated time to go do something, to build something outside of your normal day-to-day life. So like, even if you're not a stay-at-home mom and you have a 8-to-5 job, right? You still, if you want to build this, that means you need to dedicate some time on Wednesday night and Sunday afternoon. I don't know. I'm picking things out of the blue, but you need to make that time.
Yep. And something that when Sarah says we have fun, I think that Sarah and I have created an environment for everyone. And this was part of the conversation with that client, as of, you can walk into our room and you can sit there. You don't have to talk. You don't have to do anything. But when business hits, when something isn't, when you're spinning your wheels, you have people to communicate with. That gentleman yesterday, I don't think I can relate with you guys. And Sarah, you said it perfectly yesterday. Business is business, guys. Those foundations, the wording, the verbiage that you use is always going to vary because of who you are. You could be a pampered chef person, a pampered chef person, and a pampered chef person, and all three of you are going to have different conversations around your business, because one's a mom who's doing the $5 meals. One is a single person who also works and is a CEO, and she just wants all the fun tools in her kitchen. So she's going to have that conversation.
Like that.
I'm that person. The other one is somebody who does all the family holidays. So they need to have big meals and like big prep and party and stuff like that. You can have the same exact conversation, the same exact business foundation. The verbiage might change, but that foundation has to be the same. And so it doesn't matter who you're with, as long as you're with business owners who understand that you're an entrepreneur and can support you. We had somebody reach out and was like, I didn't have anybody to talk to, and I spent an entire day shaking because the end of the day meeting could totally destroy I could have lost my business in one meeting. And she couldn't talk to her staff. She couldn't talk to anybody. And she was like, I should have reached out. I should have reached you and Sarah. Because going through a day of turmoil because you can't talk through things and you have to hold it in, that is miserable business owning. And Sarah, you and I are consistent on, I hate it. I hate
Right.
it. I don't want to be here.
Complain about something. That's what I want. Like, because if you're not complaining about something in your job, in your life, if your life is not perfect, and if people are making you pretend like it is, right? And if you don't have somebody to complain to about those things, you're gonna drive yourself crazy. Yeah. And I get it.
Your spouse isn't gonna listen, right? Well, you chose to stay home.
Hey, I have a little box up here that'll talk to me if I talk to her. So my house will talk to me. But you don't get the answers you want. And I'm just joking. If I say her name, she'll yell at me. So I don't want to do that. Yvette, what are your thoughts on all of this? We just kind of rambled on a few things. What are your thoughts?
I really think it starts with the client. Be clear. What are you doing here? Read, be honest. I don't understand what you guys do. Maybe that's it. I'm not sure what's happening. Or stop the conversation. I'm not catching it. I'm not getting it. I do think that there's a level of responsibility and clarity that you need to have in business before you go into these environments. I mean, you guys, it's a powerhouse, and it's to get you from one place to another faster than you would normally go. So if you want that benefit, you do have to bring something to the table, including myself. My thing is consistency. I haven't been doing well, a lot of transition, but there's some things that I do have to put in place for it to work, for me to get the most out of what I'm looking for, which is success. And that's what I'm saying.
No, and I get that. Like, the most you want to get out of it, which is success, right? And that's the thing that I kind of want to wrap up this with, I think would be a good wrap up, is having a conversation of success looks different for everyone. Mm-hmm. And I think when we have these rooms and these meetings and these conversations with people that are at way different levels in their business, that we have to remember that success does look different for everyone. And while we probably would tell this person that wants a brick and mortar that their business wouldn't work well in a brick and mortar, it's up to her. And if that's what success looks like to her, then she needs to find the coach or the consultant that's going to help her get there. Right. And that's wonderful. But I think we also, I want you to give perspective on that, but then I want to give one more thing before I throw it over to you guys. One of the things that I think people don't realize when they meet somebody like, and I'm using myself, and I will be egotistical for a second. People see me off the beaten path consulting. I'm on my socials. I'm going live with y'all. I'm, doing courses. I'm got a blog, right? And yay, I'm at 41 people following my blog. If anybody wants to be 42, it's the answer to everything. Go follow my blog. All right. But my point with this is that I think we also need to have starting the conversation of that's not real. It's real. I have this business. I am doing all of these things, but I am not rich and famous. I am not independently wealthy yet. I still have a job that pays my bills. My off the beaten path consulting does not pay my bills yet. Right. And Brittany is in
her doctorate because she's about to go right over it. See, she said my name. She's working on her doctorate.
I am in my doctorate program. So that does take up a lot of my time. Right. And so, but Brittany's in the same boat, and so is Yvette. They have jobs that pay the bills, and we're building the business so that someday we don't have jobs that pay the bills. We have our business that pays the bills. And so I think a lot of times people come in and we start talking and they're like, oh, Sarah's like all successful and her business is perfect. And, like everything is, and I'm just sitting here like, maybe I should tell people that I'm not. And I just did. I told the world. Well, the 4 people watching us, and 2 of them are Brittany. So Brittany, Yvette, what are your thoughts about that? About how we as consultants and coaches portray ourselves to the world? Are we supposed to act perfect, or should we be vulnerable when we talk to people? Sorry, I need to switch sides here.
I feel like we absolutely need to be vulnerable, because that's where the connection is. You know, that's where you relate. That's where you get the understanding of reality that, of course, online, everyone is literally making $1 million. Literally,
Sure.
everyone. Everyone's successful. They look it, they dress it, their posts look it, they're in different places. But how much of that is true? I don't know. I have no idea. It's none of my business. But I know when you connect with us, you're getting that real. You're getting that honesty. And it's up to other people to really decide how real they want to be. How deep do you
Mhm.
want to go into this? Do you want to make believe? Because it's very easy and it does feel good and it looks fantastic. But do you want to be successful? Do you want to make money? Do you want to see a path of, I can actually do that because they're doing that, or they're meeting me where I am? I don't feel judged. You know, that's the benefit of someone being transparent with you, is you oftentimes don't feel judged. You don't feel so small that you can't do it. It doesn't feel so insurmountable that I can't make this happen. So I think transparency and authenticity is the key to getting started, get it moving, and being realistic about how to make money and be successful. What do you
Okay.
think, Whitney?
So, I love it. And I just really want everybody to understand that this conversation is about finding where people are as they are. And when you show up, showing up and reminding people where you are and as you are. So if you're in a business and your manager is trying to get you to do things that, one, isn't in your job description, two, you're not getting paid for, then you need to bring that to their attention and be like, hey, you didn't hire me for this. I don't understand. Can we please work through this so that I can do it correctly? Right? Make sure that you're vocalizing. When you walk into a room with business owners and you want to be a business owner, tell them, you're talking at this level. I need you to come down here and help me really quick with what this looks like.
Oh, sure.
Right. Say, and several times she said foundation isn't correct, but also several times that same person decided to dismiss what was being said instead
Mhm.
of taking bits of it, or they were in the call dismissing it. So I
Or
do,
brooding on it a little bit. Sometimes people are dismissing ideas and not just taking them and thinking about them for a minute. Go on,
right.
sorry.
No, exactly. So I do really want everybody to understand, like, there is a side of how do I help? And there's a side of how can I ask for help? But also, no matter what, both sides have to do things. If you're not doing and supporting, right? This person has to do, this person has to support. So that is super important and just really important. But we are wrapping up this call.
We are.
And in the chat, I'm taking over. Thank you.
You can. I don't care.
In the chat, I am going to put our holiday, or not holiday, sorry, our end of year party. We already have almost 33 people. We have like almost 35 people registered for our end of year party. It is in our virtual skyscraper where we run open. You can come in for open co-working 24/7. We've got some Aussies in there. And normally I'm there till 2 a.m. So go there. And if there's nobody there, sit there. Somebody might join you. But join us. And then our end of the year party, we do have sponsorship availabilities for freebies. There's a ton of freebies, guys. So grab your freebies.
$30,000 to
And
$3,000 prizes.
yeah, I'm giving away my biggest coaching package to the sponsor who has the most registered guests. So super exciting. But we look forward to seeing everybody there. If you're registering, use Sarah's name or Yvette's name, because if you use my name, I can't give myself a prize. So, but I'm putting that in the chat, and Sarah is going to, at some point, close us out with our video that goes out.
Well, I think that we do need to end with just telling people who we are, because we haven't done that yet. So Brittany, give your 30-second version, couple sentences. Who are you?
I am an accountability tech strategist. I help you align with your business. So if you're a tornado in a bottle not making an impact, I help you shatter that glass.
All right, Yvette, who are you? Couple sentences.
All right. I'm Yvette Pinchbeck. I help women over 40 elevate how the world experiences their presence from the boardroom to the bedroom.
Love it. And I'm Sarah with Off the Beaten Path Consulting, and apparently I can't say my own company name, but I'm an HR fixer and a leadership strategist, and you can check out my links. Today was wonderful, ladies, and I'm going to hit end stream because I set up the outro last time, which means I don't have to remember to click the little thing. At least I hope it works. So here we go. Play. Oh, look, it even says play.
1 2 1 2, need my attitude. 3 4 3 4, check my latitude.